Hello, Dr. Cortuccio and class. My name is Morgan Obley, and this is my Week 5 assignment on the ADDIE model. The ADDIE model is one of many instructional design models and serves as the basis for over 100 instructional models. The acronym ADDIE stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation, which are the 5 cyclical phases of the model. The ADDIE model was developed in Florida State University's Center for Educational Technology in 1975 for the U.S. Army. Shortly after its inception, the ADDIE training model was adapted as part of a military training project by the U.S. Armed Forces. Practitioners then revised the steps, making the ADDIE model more fluid and interactive than the original hierarchical version of the model. By the mid-1980s, the version that we are familiar with today emerged to meet today's complex job requirements, constant changes in instructional environment, and emerging instructional technologies. The ADDIE model is one of the most widely used instructional design models by training developers, instructional designers, and educators to plan and create effective learning experiences, from creating teaching lessons for elementary school children to developing corporate training programs for the latest software upgrades. This model can be used in order of analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation, but it is also designed to be flexible and continuous process of improvements and iterations to help develop courses, effective learning programs, and streamline the production of training materials. One example of the ADDIE model in the use comes from a team of librarians from Oakland University that use this model as a framework for designing an online information literacy course and strengthening student engagement. The ADDIE model provided a structure for the librarians that can be used for developing instructional methods that are collaborative and interactive. The first step of the ADDIE model is analysis. The analysis phase is the foundation to all the other phases found within the ADDIE model. During this phase, potential instructional problems and objectives are identified and learners' existing knowledge and skills are evaluated. During this phase, those who are involved in the instructional design will ask questions such as, who is the audience and what are they like? And what is the problem that needs to be solved? Those who are involved in instructional design are tasked with identifying instructional problems, analyzing the cause and impact of the problem, and determining the need and learning characteristics of the students, as this will lead to the outcome of determining specific instructional objectives which educators expect their learners to achieve. The second phase of the ADDIE model is the design phase. During this phase, information obtained from the analysis phase is reviewed to make informed decisions about creating a learning program. This phase helps to decide specific learning objectives, structure of the content, mental processes needed by the learners, knowledge and skills learners need to retain, the best tools to use, what videos and graphics are needed to be created, and the length of each lesson. During this phase, potential instruction strategies are tested and existing instructional materials are reviewed to help designers determine if the materials apply to the plans under development. Overall, the design phase helps to map out the process of how learners will achieve desired learning objectives by creating a course outline and overall design. The third phase in the ADDIE model is development. The main goal of the development phase is to bring content ideas to life. During this phase, content is created from the prototype of the lesson generated in the design phase. The main task for designers during this phase is to organize the collected learning materials and technology tools and explore how to integrate these materials and tools into instructional activities to align with specific instructional objectives. During this phase, all of the components of the lesson are formulated in detail for instructors to implement during the next phase. The fourth phase in the ADDIE model is implementation. During this phase, the lesson is presented to actual learners. Educators must ensure that their learners understand the instructional materials, help students to complete the instructional activities, and assess students' ability to transfer textbook knowledge into personal knowledge. Educators must also observe and document their students' learning behaviors, learning performance, and learning attitudes as they are important for the final phase of the ADDIE model. The last phase in the ADDIE model is evaluation. This phase measures how well the material was implemented. During this phase, educators must identify whether the lesson meets the instructional objectives and the needs of the learners. This phase also allows educators to uncover problems within their lessons which would hinder learning. Once problems are identified, educators can come up with solutions to create new learning experiences for their learners. This phase can use both formative and summative evaluation, as these forms of evaluation will help to enhance future classes. There are many advantages to the ADDIE model. This model is an effective, commonly used, widely accepted model that serves as the foundation for other instructional design models. This model works best for measuring time, cost, and behavior outcomes. Despite its advantages, there are drawbacks to the ADDIE model. This model can be time-consuming and costly. Each stage takes time, and if changes need to be made at any stage, other stakeholders who are involved in that specific stage must be consulted, wasting time and increasing costs. Poor designs such as storyboards may be recognized too late in the process, also wasting time and increasing costs. This model is also inflexible to adapt to unexpected project changes.